Thank you for tuning in once again to his Vine and Fig Tree podcast. My name is Kurt Olson. I'm your host, coming to you on the morning of August 5th, 2026. An important date for my family. My wife and I are celebrating a 26th wedding anniversary. Four quick things, starting with Fauci. We're going to go to Iran, Spain, and come back to the United States on a very an issue that deserves far more attention than it's getting. So the update on Tony Fauci is that tomorrow in the Senate Homeland Security and Government Oversight Committee, they will be having a vote on a contempt of Congress on Anthony Fauci. This is something that was promised by Senator Rand Paul, chairman of the committee, a week ago when Tony Fauci pled the fifth 111 times. And so expect that to happen. I would be very surprised if they don't eventually get an affirmative Senate vote on that as well. Secondarily, on the stuff related to Tony Fauci is just the media. So after all of the drama that unfolded in that committee hearing, ranging from not just Fauci pleading the fifth, but uh, senators asking him questions that clearly he could answer, but he chose not to. You had the mainstream media rush out and attempt to resuscitate this man's whatever's left of his shredded reputation. And the media in this country have every right to make money. This is capitalism. That's what they have to do. In order to pay employees and pay the bills, you have to make money. And as we saw during COVID, and even to some degree now, these companies do a lot of business with Pfizer, other pharmaceutical companies. And during COVID, they did a lot of business with Moderna as well. And um, at what point does the need for profit and working with the pharmaceutical industry impact your coverage and not giving the scrutiny to that industry that it deserves? That's where the media has credibility issues. And some point in the near future, just going to talk about not just generally the lack of credibility in the United States media, but the importance of information and where it's coming from. But all that aside, Iran. Two things going on here. On one side is the on again, off again. Let's talk this time. Oh, let's talk this time. And once again, the United States is talking. And in the description to the podcast, I'm going to share a video that emerged related to retired General Jack Keane. He's a contributor on Fox News. He's got sources in the around the world, and he talks specifically about the Saudis, the Qataris, and the Pakistanis, and how they're impacting the United States of America. It's worth a listen to. I have voiced my concerns in the past about all of those entities and why are we trusting them? And but there's a second issue that has come out of Iran, and the initial stories came from Reuters and the Atlantic, and they're paywalled. So uh, I don't have links to those stories because unless you have an account with them, you aren't going to be able to read it. So there's a story that emerged that the United States of America has depleted weapons stockpiles, and it's something that obviously would be an area of concern. And they're pointing out it's one of the reasons why America isn't going full bore, because we continue to have issue with weapon stockpiles. Now, when CNN had this headline across the bottom of their screen yesterday, um, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth came out and said this is a lie, that this there are people that seem to think that this is true. Now, was Pete Hegseth being a good soldier? No pun intended, and just towing the company line for Team Trump? Or was he legitimately expressing, you know, don't know where you got your information and don't know where others got their information, but it's a lie? So that is a secondary issue affecting things going on in Iran. When you go to Spain, the issue is very different. So the city of Ceuta, Spain, is an autonomous city in northern Africa, basically right across the Strait of Gibraltar from the country of Spain. And so the leftist prime minister of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, decided to say how he had open borders. So what he got was bum rushed border for the city in northern Africa, and Spain now has some of its neighbors in Europe concerned how all of that is going to affect them. And basically, what happened is 60,000 people, mainly male, military age males, 20s, 30s, that kind of thing. These people bum rush Kuwait of Spain, and you suddenly have chaos in the water. And in some of that, the last count I saw was 70 some people who had died. But you had thousands of people, tens of thousands of people that were able to make shore, and you now had a city overrun by 60, nearly 60,000 people. And there was looting, there was theft, there was all kinds of chaos that was happening that even the local police couldn't control. So that is happening in Ceuta, Spain. And that demands attention because some of that could ultimately affect not just their neighbors in Europe, but perhaps even the United States of America. The final story I want to bring to your attention is something out of something that I saw for the first time on Monday. And when I came across this story, I was like, how have we not heard more about this? And it's probably because the government doesn't have all of their answers. They're still trying to figure out who is behind it. So, what happened was this. Apparently, a week ago Monday, which would have been the 27th of July, the I believe it was the FBI and EPA put out warnings to locals, to cities in the United States of America, to be on alert for water and wastewater treatment plants in their cities being attacked electronically. And lo and behold, in the states of Michigan and Minnesota, there were over 30 cities in both states that where they were affected by, apparently, hackers changing passwords, changing IP addresses, and causing some chaos. Now, this is important simply because these are water treatment plants. You Everybody relies on water, and as this was happening, um, the government still doesn't have all the answers they're looking for. There's a tendency to blame Iran simply because even before the conflict started back in late February, Iran was warning certain things could happen in the United States of America if they did this. Now, Iran has friends in China. Iran has friends in, I can only assume, North Korea and also Russia. And all of them over time have messed with the United States in varying ways. And we know of Michigan, Minnesota, South Dakota, and California. And the feds are saying a minimum of 7 states, and in some cases, it's a minimum of 12 states affected by this. Why this hasn't gotten more attention from the media is a complete mystery, because you would think something that involves a nefarious foreign actor screwing around with potentially water treatment plants is a pretty big deal. Um, but it hasn't gotten anywhere near the attention it demands, because a lot of the reporting on this has been happening locally in the states where this has been going on. And very little attention has been coming otherwise. So, but this did happen. The feds are still looking for the culprits. And it's one of those things where you're left asking, where does all this lead? So um, there's that. That's all I have this week. For those who read my column, listen to this podcast, and are sharing it, thank you for doing so. And I have a new column coming out on Sunday. And until next time, God bless and goodbye.